Hello, my name is Chioma, and today I'll be talking about rethinking blue taxonomy, designing models for real learners, not just verbs. So picture this. I'm sitting across the provost of Riverside University. We've been talking about improving an online program. When he looks at me and say, Lucy, instructional objectives are nice and all, but they are boring and they don't really fit our diverse learner. What else have you got? At that moment, I smiled because honestly, he's right. We've used Bloom taxonomy for decades like it's gospel. But today, learners, they are very diverse, digital, global, and they don't think or learn in straight line. So I told him maybe it's time we rethink what success in learning actually means. Bloom taxonomy is like that old reliable car that's still running but guzzles too much fuel. It was built in the 1950s before we even understood how the brain learns. First, it treats thinking like a ladder: remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. As if we climb one step at a time, but learning doesn't work like that. Real people jump between levels. Secondly, it assumes every learner starts from the same place, same background, same plate. That's not real life. And third, it puts the teacher in charge of everything. The student becomes the object and not the driver. And that's why in Grace's research in 2021, she was talking about blooms is tidy, but it's not true to how people actually learn. So I'm not the only one saying this. Rumberger calls Bloom a first ladder. He says learning isn't a climb, it's a journey full of detours. Jason Barney also says that Bloom's makes us pretend learning can be measured like a test score. And Ronald Case also says it makes teacher chase verbs instead of meaning. These scholars are really saying one thing. Bloom's oversimplifies what's complex: human learning. So when the provost asked what else could we use, I said, let's stop thinking in pyramids and start thinking in performance. Mega's model is great for that. Clear, measurable goals, what learners will do, under what condition, and how well. Then I mix that with understanding by design, which flips the process. You start with the outcome you want, then design backwards. And because our students come from everywhere, rural, urban, neurodiverse, we add universal design for learning. That way, everyone can access, express, and engage in ways that works for them. In short, it's not about scrapping Bloom, it's about updating it for today's learner. So neuroscience also has changed the game. We now know that learning isn't neat or sequential. The brain lights up in many areas at once: emotion, memory, problem solving, and they all connect. So when we design linear objective, we fight how the brain naturally learns. And that's why students can analyze before they remember or create before they understand. Real learning is like farming. You plant, you water, you observe, and you adjust. It's a circular process and not a step by step process. So I told the provost, if we want to reach every learner, we need to design objectives that show what people can do, not just what they can recall. For example, instead of saying students will understand digital marketing, would say students will design a simple agribusiness campaign using real farm data. That's performance, that's transfer, that's learning emotion. The verb still matters, but now the learning matters more. So at Agrodemy, we even already leave this approach. I was then speaking to the provost with this and saying, you know what, we design learning so that people can show what they know. A student might create a packaging label, record a sales video, or teach others, and not just write notes. So we use micro learning, voice narration, and real project to respect every learner space in Bloom, but reimagined through experience, inclusion, and action. Honestly, this conversation reminded me that leadership in instructional design isn't about defending the old, it's about adapting it. Bloom gave us structure, yes, but the world has moved from structure to story. And as Sophia Zhang, my AI mentor, once said, the best framework act like recipes, useful, but you must cook with learner's taste in mind. And that's what I try to do, designing learning that tastes real to the learner. These references guided my reflection and challenged me to think differently about how we define learning today. Thank you for watching.